I was listening to the song. It go like,
I know it hurts sometimes, but you'll get over it.
yeah,
You'll find another life to live.
yeah,
I swear that you'll get over it. But I know you're sad and tired, you got nothing left to give.
yeah,
You'll find another life to live.
yeah,
I know that you'll get over it.
yeah.
On this first possession, we see that great passing leads to a good open shot. Less dribbling and more passing gets us good open looks. Here, Ethan collapses on the weak side and gets a good read on the rebound. He puts the shot up right away before the defense can get to him, and that ball just bounces off the rim. This right here is why you box out. You fight for the ball before it comes down. That way you don't have to fight for it when it does come down. We get lucky and they last touch it. It goes out of bounds. Inbounding was definitely an issue this fourth quarter. Right here, we miss up a good open look on Tim right underneath the hoop, but we get a second choice to Ethan out on the wing, and he gets a good look at the hoop with his shooting distance that he's capable of. This is an okay shot. It goes off the front rim and takes a bad bounce out of bounds. Overall, that was a pretty good possession. We got off 3 good shots, but none of them went in. It was like there was a lid on the basket. In this quarter, our defensive pressure was very important. Zachary does a good job here getting a hand up, making it hard to catch the pass, and we force a turnover. The pressure that we put on them forced a lot of bad passes by them turned into turnovers. We have to be careful of our toes on the line. That was very close. This is a good example of our number 1 play. Zaire gets good enough penetration to get past the defense and get an elbow line jump shot right here at the top of the paint. Zachary and Tim need to work on boxing out their post players. Mason does a good job crashing, but ends up getting boxed out by them and is unable to get the ball. This is excellent pressure by Ethan, forcing a quick pass off down to their post, and Tim does a great job rotating over, making it a difficult shot. Tim also does a good job helping out right here, helping us get on the roll. Ethan loves to push the ball hard, and it's important to keep your head up when you're on a fast break. Tim shows us just why, sprinting baseline to baseline, keeping his head up. Right here, he sees that a pass needs to be made and there's only one option, and he jumps the lane and grabs it. Great job keeping your head up. When dribbling the ball up the court, it's important to never stop your dribble until you know what you're going to do. Here, the pass was very difficult because Zaire got trapped, but Mason managed to get an open pass down to Tim in the post, and he gets fouled. This is why you want to practice your free throws. You never know when you're going to need them, especially in the fourth quarter, down by 2, they can be very important. They are a tricky shot as it is because they're deep for some of you guys. But when you're tired in the fourth quarter, they're even harder. It is a great shot to practice because it helps you line yourself up with the basket and it really lets you work on form. I think Tim does a good job here. These are his first shots of the season and he must have been nervous. I looked over at his mom and I saw that she was. But he looks pretty calm. Zaire gets the rebound and gets a good shot. Ethan gets blocked trying to put it up and Mason gets trapped in the paint. Tries to pass it off to Zaire, but he gets blocked and it goes out of bounds on our attempt to save it. Right there, none of us really worked on boxing out. Even on the free throw, we didn't work on boxing out. But it was a good job getting that ball with all those red shirts down there. On this defensive possession, lack of defensive pressure from Mason lets them set their play up and he gets run right into a pick here. This allows their ball handler to get a wide open shot behind the 2 other screens they're setting. Zaire needs to come up quicker and try to block that shot. We even let him get his own rebound because, again, we didn't box out. But this is a great fast break. Ethan changes directions and with a soft touch finishes the layup. Just wonderful. It only took 5 seconds to score that basket, so it really doesn't take much time on the clock to score 2 points. And though that 2-point shot right there is a lot more effective than a 3-point shot. Go again, taking the ball up the court slowly to take time off the clock and set up their offense. They take 3 kids on one side and set up a big wall so that way they can get the shot to go down. That time he was wide open. We have to fight through those screens if we're going to stop that shot or make it more difficult for them. At this point in the game, that's not the shot we need. A three-pointer would put us up by 1, but this ends up being a turnover. And every time we tried to take a deep shot like that, it ended up being a turnover. We either traveled, airballed, and it went out of bounds, or that one right there, because we didn't box out, ended up being a fight for the ball when it came down and turned into a jump ball going to the red team. A better idea would be to try to take the ball right down the middle and for a layup, or try the give and go play again and get an open jump shot like we did last time. Right here, we lack defensive pressure, and this just allows him to dribble in and take an open jump shot when he wants to. Mason gets run into a screen again, and this time we get lucky. He overshoots it, and it bounces out of bounds. Now that subs are back in, Porter's in the game. Ethan tries to set a pick, and they fight through it, maintaining pressure on him and making it a really tough shot for Porter. It was a good try. He was hungry. And this kid right here puts on a good jump stop on everybody. Skirt! And gets all you guys. But Ethan was smart and got the rebound. These scramble plays are something that hurt us a lot in this game. Towards the end, we started getting overexcited, and we started having trouble finding people to pass to, finding where to dribble. We traveled right there on a deep jump shot. A deep jump shot ended up being a turnover. With the only points we scored in the fourth quarter were on a layup. And they controlled the pace of this game by slowing us down. By slowing us down, we played to their speed, which is come in, get the ball to one kid who takes a jump shot on that side of the court. You guys keyed in on that and started playing tough defense. They called a foul on Porter here because now they're calling the games very tight. They're enforcing all the rules. And that was a nice catch by the referee. I know that it's difficult when you're tired and in these games when it's very exciting to control your body, but you have to try to. And right here we see an example of that, just over a little bit too much, and that's a foul, 2 foul shots. And right here, even though they call the foul on you and you feel worried, you have to try to maintain your composure. Remember that you are a warrior. If you look down at the other end of the court, you'll see that they have 2 kids already set up on defense to prevent any fast break from us. And on this shot, on the second shot, you always have to wait for the ball to hit the rim before you enter the lane. Clearly Mason jumped in early, but he got the rebound and they didn't call that yet. And with over 2 minutes left, there's really no need to be rushing like this. Their defense is set up preparing for us to go in for layups, so we're going to have to pass the ball around to work for our open shots. That's the only way we really did get open shots. We got lucky with that foul call, that they fouled us before Ethan went out of bounds. This is a good find right here. Usually Gabe hits these shots. I mean, he's been hitting these all year long. That one just didn't fall for us. And again, if we boxed out, we wouldn't be jumping and fighting for those balls. And that was good follow-up on that defense by Ethan to poke that ball out. We were a little slow getting back on defense still, though. Right here, Porter does a good job defending the shot, getting his hand in the face. And when we come down the court, we're trying to fast break, they foul us. They fouled us every time we tried to put on a fast break. They were doing everything they could to not allow a fast break. And right here, Mason has a line violation. And this right here shows how you guys were standing and you guys were acting defeated before the game was even over. You guys were playing. When you're playing in the game, you can't think winning and losing. You have to think, I am just playing. They continue to work the clock, passing the ball around, running it down, and running down our energy also. Ethan comes by to help out, and so does Mason, and eventually we force him to make a pass to a player who takes a bad shot. We fail to box out, and they get the rebound, but we force up another bad shot and grab the rebound. Gabe makes a great outlet pass like he's done all season, and Porter gets fouled before he can take the shot. Just like I was saying, they foul us before we can get on our fast break to prevent us from fast breaking. And now we have to inbound the ball again, and you'll see a little bit of inbound trouble again as we make a poor pass decision. You have 5 seconds to inbound the ball, so if your first option isn't open, you can look to somebody else. Right here, Ethan's open, and Porter's about to be open if he steps a little bit more to his right. But instead, we ended up having a turnover. Being a little slow here lets them take off those precious seconds that we need to have the ball. In their passes that we make them make almost leads to a turnover right here. But before they get off that bad shot, that would have been a turnover, their coach called a timeout. Their coach called a lot of timeouts at good moments. We do a good job of keeping our body in front of the ball, beating the offense to positions without fouling. And eventually, this tight pressure leads this kid to travel. It's very tough to keep your feet under you when you're being surrounded by 3 players trying to get the ball. That was a good job. Now there's 33 seconds left, and remember, it only takes us 5 seconds to score, so we could score 6 baskets if we really tried. And this shot right here, the deep 3-pointer, ends up being a turnover. That's the 3rd deep shot that we took in the quarter that was a turnover. The team that won this game was the team that ran their offensive plays. They took their time bringing the ball up the court, let everybody get set up, and ran the plays that they had practiced. See them try to get back into their offense again, but Ethan jumps this pass and almost gives our team a chance, and he never gives up. That was a great try, Ethan. Mason ends up getting the rebound, and we call a timeout. And the stack play that we run here is not the one that we practice. This is one of our last shots of the game. It was under tough pressure. Both of those are, and here's how the game ended right here.